Crazy Marvel and DC news from some major casting announcements for the new Batman and the villain of the Batman Part 2, plus some major new updates from Tom Holland himself about Spider-Man Brand New Day, and a huge confirmation for Avengers Doomsday. Let's get into it all. We're going to start off with James Gunn's new comments about casting the new Batman in the DCU. He went on an interview and said, I have guys I like. I have guys that are at the top of my list.
Ooh, I would love to see Alan Richmond. Honestly, I always say that, but I think Alan Richmond would just be a perfect fit. Dude's huge. He's a unit. He just fits. He looks like a Bruce Wayne too. I just feel like he's a perfect Batman. I don't want, I want an older Batman in the DCU. I don't want a 20-year-old. Robert Pattinson's a good Batman, but he's just not. He's not the Batman that could be with Nightwing and Tim Drake or Jason Todd or Damian Wade, where they have like their own little thing going on. Robert Pattinson's like the beginning of Batman's story. They need a real Batman who's like in his late 30s, early 40s. That is just he's in there. He's been Batman for a while. But I think though with Superman though, since Superman's 3 years into being Superman, I think Batman's not gonna be too old. He actually might be in his 30s, early 30s, late 20s. But
To play Batman. One actor in particular, a pretty big star, wants to be Batman. We've talked about it,
we all
but I
know
don't
who's
think
this
that's
gonna
the
be.
case
Imagine Dwayne Johnson as Batman. Hell no, bro. I cannot. Like I love The Rock, bro, but he is not Batman. He just like, bro, imagine him without his mask on, just some bald prick walking around. Like he could be Lex Luthor or something. I don't know. He just can't be Batman. He can never be Batman. There's a couple of things that The Rock could be, but I just don't think The Rock should be in any universe in DC. I don't think it works. Like it's like with Marvel where it's like Marvel never picked up The Rock for shit. And it's like The Rock is like when The Rock's in the movie, it's like that's The Rock's movie. Like when Fast and Furious came out, and even Jumanji, he had like a reign there where it was just like these are his movies. This is him. Like this movie is his. I don't think he should be in DCU at all. John Cena being Peacemaker is a good fit. If they could find a way to put The Rock in there somewhere, that would be good. I think that's a big thing too that makes it sort of funny is that a lot of people do want to be like Aquaman. Jason Momoa he played Aquaman. Now he's playing Lobo most likely, which I mean he fits Lobo. But you look at Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, then he was Deadpool, right? They've had switch ups from different universes where this one's in this universe and this one's in that universe. That's always how it is, bro. Like it's sort of weird, but once they get it down pat, it's gonna be perfect. They keep making Lex Luthor some dweeb, but like he was always jacked. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I do think the new Superman movie with Lex Luthor is like the most accurate, but of course it's not completely accurate. I think it is accurate in the case of him being filthy rich, and he does have a good stature. I think he is like 6'3" or something. He's like up there with Superman's height, so he actually has the face to face type of like it's like if they took away their superpowers, he could take on Superman. That's how Lex Luthor should be. He's a very physique man. He could keep up with himself. He's a billionaire. Maybe by the next film, Men of Tomorrow, they actually get him like jacked because he does need to be like an aesthetic build. He needs to be like 220. Like he needs to be a big body. He can't just be some scrawny dude in a suit. Like, but I do think in Snyderverse that's where they fucked up because it's like, bro, that's not Lex Luthor, and they fucked up in many different situations. Because I mean, bro, I haven't seen Lex Luthor like that in many movies, and the universes and shit. And for them to actually successfully put him in there, and then have Guy Gardner, have Hawk Girl, have Mister Terrific. It just fleshed together so well, and I think in the next movie with them having Brainiac is such a plus. Like having Brainiac in a movie, dude. Brainiac is one of those guys that you've just never like. It's like Darkseid. Like yeah, Darkseid might have been in some other movies and stuff, but it's like, bro, we need the full on like this guy's Thanos of their universe. Like, and I think they could really do it. I cringe seeing 1A. Yeah, I think that's the thing is there's certain parts of the movie where I am like, what the fuck? But I really do believe that the adaptation of him is like the most accurate. It doesn't mean it's completely accurate to what Lex Luthor should be, but it is the most accurate in what they've done in movies. And that does give me hope in James Gunn. Like I think them even having a Brainiac film is like, like them going against Brainiac and he's in his green suit is like, wow. Like I've seen this so many times in Legos and animated series, and now I'm about to see it in a real movie. Like it's like, and same thing with Clayface. Like to be able to see like villains that are like that are like B tier, C tier Batman villains, like actually getting a movie and being like a part of the universe is like, bro, hell yeah. It's like we've never seen that before. It pissed me off how they never did that before.
More. The reason the interview even got to this point is because the interviewer was asking about 1923, which is a show starring Brandon Sklenar, which is one of the most popular fan casts for Batman in this new DC universe. So James Gunn's like, yeah, I absolutely love that show. That's why I talk about it all the time, but nothing's been decided for Batman. When it comes to the star he was talking about that wanted to play Batman in the past, I think that's likely Jake Gyllenhaal. Because Jake Gyllenhaal auditioned for the role of Batman for Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins and didn't end up landing the part. And just last year in this interview, he said that it would still be an honor to play Batman. Jake Gyllenhaal is 44 years old, but we know we're likely going to be getting an older Batman that kind of already has some elements of the Bat family around him. Maybe there's going to be a Batwoman. Robin is like 99% confirmed to be in this film from this first promo image we have. Awesome. Really don't hate it. Like, first of all, Robert Pattinson's playing the quote-unquote young Batman in the Batman movies, and he's only 5 years younger than Jake Gyllenhaal, which is kind of crazy. By the time the Batman Part 2 comes out, Robert Pattinson's going to be 41. Kind of like this dynamic of having like this older seasoned Batman versus...
That is mind-blowing that Robert Pattinson's about to be 41. Bro's 20 years older than me. I didn't realize that. That's crazy as fuck. But in Hollywood, though, it's like you really don't know how old they are until they start hitting like 50 and 60 when the gray hair starts showing. Like most of these Marvel actors, and you just wouldn't know. And then later on, you're like, whoa, like the dude's got hella gray hair and he's starting to wrinkle up. It just hits him out of nowhere. But they usually look youthful. Like they could play a 24-year-old actor. Like they could play like something that a 24-year-old would get. You know, like even what's his name? Timothée Chalamet. Like, you know, like he, in my opinion, he could be a good Nightwing. I think he's a good fit for Nightwing or Robin in some cases. But it just depends on what they're gonna do with Batman in general. They need to make it really serious, but also you know, down to earth and comic book accurate.
The newer Superman that's only been active for about 3 years. Speaking of the Batman Part 2, Matt Reeves gave us a new update today because it's International Batman Day, and he said, I feel so honored to be preparing to shoot the next chapter of our story. This character means so much to me. What a privilege. Can't wait to share lots of exciting things about the movie with you in the weeks and months to come. Happy Batman Day. But we're finally in the home stretch. Just the other day, he confirmed that the movie's going to start filming in like April to May of next year. But it sounds like in the next couple weeks, he's going to be sharing some major news, likely about the villain, or at least some castings of new characters that will be in the film. If you missed yesterday's video, he did already confirm that the villain of this movie has never been done in a live action film before, and I cannot wait for these next couple weeks. I think early October is kind of when we should expect to see some of this first news coming out from Matt Reeves himself. I'm so hyped. Got a lot more news to get to, but quickly drop a like in the video and let me know in the comments who you think the villain of the Batman Part 2 is going to be. Shifting over to Marvel, we got some Avengers Doomsday news straight from an actor in the movie. Now, in case you're unaware, there were lots of insiders and news outlets reporting that this movie had been filming for a very long time without a finished script. Well, the movie just finished filming yesterday, and there are lots of people online being like, oh my god, they finished filming without even having a finished script. What are the Russo brothers doing? And I was like, well, obviously they finished the script at this point, and Alan Cumming, who plays Nightcrawler in the movie, did just come out and say today, yes, we eventually saw a script. It took a while, but we had one. But this kind of confirms both things were true. Yeah, they really didn't have a finished script for a lot of the filming of this movie, so they probably just knew certain fight scenes and stuff that they started filming early on, and then worked out the ending of the movie as they went. We got some new updates from Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, in a new interview talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, and he described the film as a rebirth, saying, quote, it really feels like we aren't making the fourth Spider-Man movie. We're making the first movie in the next chapter. This is a rebirth. This is something completely new. Also confirmed that Peter's new suit in the movie is kind of a combination of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's, which a lot of people had been theorizing just by looking at the thing. But he said, I'm really glad that people are picking up on the homage to Tobey and Andrew's suit. He said, I think the third movie was very much about paying respect to those guys. I really like the idea that he's trying to be his big brothers and that he looks up to them and sees little details on their suit that he thinks are really cool, and now he is making his own suit and isn't a part of a bigger team. Also said the new suit is really designed in a completely different way to the previous iterations. It's a lot more flexible, so we can kind of lean into different sides of the character that I haven't been able to before, and I'm absolutely over the moon with how it's photographing. With everything we know about them bringing back characters characters like Scorpion, Mr. Negative, still rumored to be maybe the main villain of this movie, and just all the different behind the scenes action scenes we've seen so far, it really just feels like the vibe has totally shifted. We are now in this new era of adult Spider-Man, and I really think this has potential to be the best live action Spider-Man film of all time. If you haven't dropped that like in the video already, what are you doing? We had even crazier Marvel and DC news yesterday. If you want to hear all about that, click the video above my head right now, and thank you so much for watching.